What is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge and we are back today with some Apocalypse Saga heroic guides video for you all. In today's video, we're going to be going through both nodes 1 and nodes 2. I'm taking it in 2 nodes at a time just because of the content and the full gameplay being needed, as well as showing you guys my full team upgrades and levels. So currently going through it right now, and I've been able to get through the first 5. Definitely nodes 2 was the hardest so far, but we'll do nodes 1, nodes 2, and I'm going to make some separate videos for the following nodes. So I'll make sure I have that linked in the description below for your guys' reference. That said, the first 2 nodes does require Darkhold as well as the Unlimited X-Men. Let's get right to it for the upgrades. So that way you can see visually what I upgraded here specifically for my Darkhold team and what was able to be done. I will have to say too though, guys, keep in mind RNG is definitely a factor in the sense that luck may be dependent on your attempt going through. So there we go. I just cycled through my full Darkhold so that way you guys can see. And as well, let's go ahead to my Unlimited X-Men for the upgrades there. And there's gonna be some pivotal pieces like Rogue, making sure that you have her built up because especially for nodes 2, you'll see the value that she's gonna be bringing. And again, that luck aspect that we don't really have control over, but hopefully you guys can see the gameplay strategy and then that assists you guys in your progression. Let's get right to it, guys. Was actually surprised that my first try I was able to get through this node 1, so not too bad. Just make sure Agatha Harkness and Morgan Le Fay are together because that way she is going to be getting the assisted attacks, and I found that the ISO 8 striker on Morgan Le Fay absolutely clutch and just being able to get her the additional attack. So that's it, guys. You can see we're starting off with a mixture of the Infinity Watch with their immunity, so that way we can't really touch them with negative conditions. I do recommend taking down key enemies in the beginning here like Hela, because with her being alive, Zombie Iron Man as well as Greg are going to keep coming back, so I do focus them in the very beginning here, as you'll see. Agatha Harkness to start things off, adding the vulnerabilities to my key targets, but as well you can see the negative conditions that are being applied to the enemies. It prevented Emma Frost from using a cleanse as well, which is really important, so make sure you guys have that timing down. Otherwise, if she cleanses everything, then you know all this was for naught. But you can see, yeah, as I continue my strategy here, Hela is the main target at the very beginning, so that way we can definitely chain that up with finishing off Zombie Iron Man as well as the Greg. So short work there. This should be one of the best teams for a lot of players in their arsenal, so I don't suspect that many people will have a hard time with node 1, but you never know if you have a lower level team. Unfortunately, Mr. Sinister's probably going to get his turn to be able to do a ultimate clone, and you can see I got lucky there because he only cloned Wong, which out of this mixture is actually probably the best trade-off. It's either Wong or Scarlet Witch will probably be the ideal target to get cloned. Next up, I do focus on Zombie Iron Man here, just because he's got some really capable abilities. We've got Scarlet Witch here being able to provide protection, additional defense up, and healing. So you can see right after Hela, I'm just constantly going for the enemies that can be revived because I just don't want them, especially Zombie Iron Man's ultimate ability. It's actually pretty devastating, so you want to take him down so that way we're left with a bunch of pseudo healer type support characters, really with only Lady Deathstrike being a true threat, just because she can apply some pretty devastating bleeds, right? So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna try to finish her off, and you see we're ideally left with Phyla-Vell, Adam Warlock, and then Mr. Sinister again. I don't really care about him because he's got a huge energy pool that needs to be required for his ultimate, and as well he does a minor heal, not a big deal. The main target out of this is just cleaning up like I did in that top left corner, and now focusing Madeline Pryor because she would be the next character that's a pretty high priority. Mystique is pretty good too because she can actually mind control and utilize our allies against us, but definitely prioritize Madeline Pryor, guys, just because of the fact that she's got some very, very potent abilities. Thankfully at this point, should be able to activate Morgan Le Fay's ultimate for the 2nd time, and that does shut down Madeline. So the ability block lands on her, and it also lands on Mystique, which is absolutely huge for us. We're cleaning up here. Mr. Sinister was never really an issue, but the fact that he was weak, we want to take advantage of that with some standard attacks there. So looking pretty good, guys. Like I said, if you just wave control and manage, it should be pretty smooth. Wong takes up a lot of the damage with him being the main tank and taunt. And then after that fact, again, like we want to focus on maybe some tankier characters supportively, like Phyla-Vell, Mystique, I'm opting to leave Adam Warlock in the corner there. You see that he just doesn't do much. He has some bleeds here and there, but then once he activates his double stun and ability block, he's just sitting around doing not much, right? So that's my strategy and recommendation there, guys. At this point, yeah, cleaning up, finishing off the enemies are weak. Mystique is pretty weak, so and then same with Strife too, but he's tankier and he does become pretty problematic when you do want to have a key enemy being taken down. And obviously he's in the way, so we finish him up. Mystique is close to we're almost going to be able to finish her off as well, so going ahead there, gives Wong a slight heal. We'll activate probably the heal later on when we actually need it. So yeah, looking pretty good as usual, guys. 9 out of 20 left. We have 3 in this wave, but then it should be able to spawn the remainder. And again, the reason we really focused on taking down Hela, so that way if she doesn't get to the end here, these additional zombie Iron Mans and Gregs, they're just not going to have a chance. But we do have another Madeline Pryor coming now, and again, it'll be the 3rd time that we activate Morgan Le Fay's ultimate. So her ultimate has really been timed to just shut down those key targets like Madeline Pryor and Emma Frost. And if able to, in this opportunity, we finally get a chance to extend all those ability blocks by additional turns. So really shutting them down for 2 full turns. Finally see Adam Warlock's weak in that top right corner. So we went ahead and took away his revive there. But again, like I said, you can see here in my footage, I just don't even focus him because he's not really a factor. He's just kind of chilling for support. And thankfully he doesn't do a lot of damage, so not a big deal there. Yeah, like I said, very, very smooth, guys. I think a lot of folks are going to have a pretty good time with this first node, just wave controlling and managing. And then once we take down Madeline Pryor, it is pretty much a good game for this wave. Here we go. And then at this point, it's, yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter the abilities too, because each time the nodes do get reset, so not a big deal whatsoever. And then at this point, guys, I would just go ahead and finish off whoever you would like, because once you have Emma Frost, Zombie Iron Man, and the 2 Adam Warlocks, it's pretty much smooth sailing. So I'm going to cut out this footage just to save you guys a bit of time, because at this point, you'll be pretty much guaranteed the 3 stars. There we go, just to show you guys the finishing touch here. 3 stars, easy first node. So what's beautiful for this, guys, as I noted before, is each of these nodes in Heroic does give us a whopping 700k in the ISO T2 4. So you can see there, that's really gonna help us in terms of building more characters and getting ready for the unlock of Baby Apocalypse. So good to go there. Next up is Apocalypse 1-2, which requires unlimited X-Men. Now, this is the formation that seemed to work for me, guys, but you'll see there's going to be a lot of RNG, so I think I actually reset this definitely over 10 times, because you'll see in the beginning, you're not going to get probably the same play out as me, but this is kind of what you want to go for. You want to see if Noir can kind of aim for that left corner, and then everyone's still doing pretty decent here. Very beginning, if Spider Weaver goes already, just back out, because we're going to use Dazzler's blind on, so that way Spider Weaver actually misses her ultimate. So you can see that little play right there. If that doesn't happen, your chances of getting through this node is greatly diminished, because you'll see from the beginning, the reason why we need that to miss is so that way our full team is still ready to go. The Dazzler blind actually not hitting is absolutely huge for us, because this wave just gets so much burst out. As you can see, they're just going and going. We haven't even had a chance to use Rogue its turn. So finally, we get a chance to go. And you want to aim for Rogue special actually on Spider Weaver, so that way it shuts her down, but as well Rogue becomes the main tank, and it's the reason why she's kind of in the center, so that way we have like our key targets like Gambit and Dazzler kind of being protected. The other problem point with this node is Captain Sam, because he's gonna probably get his taunt off, as you'll see, and it's just again an absolute clobber fest here of them just doing work on us. Unfortunately, we're going to have still attacks miss, but I needed to actually cleanse with Dazzler, so that way it wasn't impacting us. Finally, we get a chance with Sunfire to absolutely tear things up. Spider Weaver goes down, clearing 2 out of the 16 guys on the board here, which is absolutely huge for us. And you can just see this burst, right? This absolutely huge respect for Web Warriors, because they do so much burst damage in this initial wave, comboing with the Young Avengers. So a devastating combination. But finally, if you're able to get through that first wave with a little bit of RNG, this new wave does spawn with some new guys to the right, but we're still going to be focused on Captain Sam because of his taunt. So at this point, I would actually just use Gambit's abilities. I didn't really want to ability block Miss Marvel, but I didn't have a choice because I needed some AoE burst. And as well, with him being actually able to provide dodges, we need that for the survivability. So at some point, once Captain Sam goes down, if going according to plan, you still have your full team. Miss Marvel will be the pseudo tank now and taking damage, and we don't really have a choice but to focus them. But the good news with the Unlimited X-Men is that they have a lot of passive attacks, especially Gambit, continually hitting the weakest enemy every turn they go. So that's a huge advantage for us. For sure, you guys need a big Gambit and a big Rogue for this specific node. Finally goes down, and we get another cluster here of Titania joining. We unfortunately lose Dazzler, but she did her work. I'll probably have to go back and redo the 3-star for this at some point in order to unlock Apocalypse, but you can see here, the only thing I really truly care about is just getting through this node, because it's a very, very hard node. After the tanks have been cleared with Captain Sam, Miss Marvel, Titania dropping, we can finally take down some of the weaker enemies on the board here. So, you know, that includes characters like Noir, Squirrel Girl, right? I didn't use Gambit's ultimate because I recommend you guys saving it for the last wave. So with Kestrel dropping, another Noir, Spider-Punk, this is when you would want to probably ideally save Gambit's ultimate, because it's going to hit them really hard. And as well, it takes up time for Gambit to build up his ultimate anyway. So if you can get to this point, it's probably the only choice you got. And there you go. I do aim for Kestrel first because of her amazing sustainability and the capabilities that she brings for herself and the rest of the team. Once she's taken down, I would just try to aim for anybody that's weak and get them out of the way, because your luck will probably be different from mine. But at some point, Rogue is going to get very, very close to getting her abilities back because of her long cooldown, and then it's going to completely change this last attempt here in this final wave. So you can see here, we're just trying to take down Noir. He's exceptionally squishy, thankfully. But then you can see these guys are still doing work on us. Finally, Gambit gets a turn with his ultimate, doing some amazing disruption and burst damage. The other reason I like Gambit using that is because he grants dodges as well for our team for survivability. Finally, Rogue getting her abilities, you know, took her time, but you know, that's really the game changer here in this last wave. So again, guys, it looks easy on screen with the way I did it, but I'm telling you, it took me over 10 resets to get the right RNG, especially that initial burst where if Spider Weaver goes and you're not able to, some key character like Rogue or Gambit gets stunned, I would just back out and reset, guys. So there you have it, another unlock here of the Node 2. I'll definitely do videos for the rest though as I progress. Thank you as always. Do let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.